boughs of holly. La 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel. La 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. La 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 la.
Hi there! So, as you can see, I am in fully Christmas mode, and I thought that if you are like me, so if you like creative stuff and bullet journal and scrapbooking, all these sorts of creative things, probably you will enjoy some DIYs for Christmas. I love to do DIYs. I love to save money and having something that is unique and bespoke just for me. So what I did here, my first video of this series, is going to be about the Christmas advent calendar, and I love it. I mean, it's a tradition that I love to bring on, and this year I decided to do something that it's really easy, that is not dated, so you can reuse it year after year. I prepared some tags for you and for me, and that you can download. You can find in the info box below all the link for downloading them. There are an English version as long as an Italian version, and there are a couple of spare tags if you want to add your own activities. I decided to create for me this year something that was giving me the chance to practice more the Christmas spirit in some way. So I choose activities that you can do with basically no budget, that you can do wherever you are, and that are I don't know, things that I feel that can help me to get in the mood of what Christmas is. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I just use a tons of stuff that I already have at home. I didn't bought anything basically. I had a lot of scrapbooking, Christmas supplies like die cuts and accessories and some Christmas small ornaments, this kind of stuff. So I think you can do in a very low budget way. I will go and show you how you can make like for the first 5 or 6 of the pockets, the envelopes that I did. But of course, it's just for giving you some ideas. You can decorate it and personalize them wherever you want. So it took me like 2 hours to complete the entire project. It's not super time consuming, and depending on how much you want to decorate it, can be a little bit more or less long to make it. And so I think I've said you everything, so let's get started. First of all, the materials. So for this project I've used 25 envelopes, the one that you use for coins and money. I've bought them through a dollar store or something, and I paid like £1 for 100 of them, so there are 25 of each of these, and there are 10 centimeter by 6.5 centimeter. Then I've used some baking twines, but every kind of twine that it's a little bit sturdy and thick will work perfectly fine. I've used 10 pins, and I've used 25 mini pegs that you can find basically everywhere, like Flying Tiger has them, for example, plus some fairy lights. Mine are from Primark, and they will cost me £2.50, so they are pretty cheap, and they just need 3 AA battery to operate them. The first thing is to cut 4 piece of baking twine. Mine are, since I'm not placing it on a wall, but I'm placing it on a board, an MDF board, I'm just cutting them a little bit bigger than the side, so I can hold them on the side of the board. And here you can see me cutting the printables that I've made for you. So you can find the English version in the info box. There is the link to download it. There are 3 different pages, so what you just need to do is to cut them. They are pretty easy to cut because you can see the change of the pattern on them, so it's really easy. And you can print them on paper or on a little bit of cardstock. Mine it's a light cardstock, and then to use a puncher to poke a hole if you want to, or otherwise you can poke the hole and just decorate the back of it if you don't have or don't want to use the envelopes. So I've put out some different activities, so like go Christmas light spotting, play board games, light up a scented candle, have breakfast in bed. My idea was to have some activities that was basically done, that anyone can done, and they have basically no cost, so you can do at home or just by walking outside to experience a little bit more the magic of Christmas, so just like getting a little bit of preparation for it.
So, and I thought also to add something like do something nice for a friend or for a family member, or write a thank you note or a letter to someone that you want to thank, or call a friend and listen to her and what she wants to tell you. I mean, I think that Christmas is about giving also. So do something back. It's always nice. So I place also a rack, like a random act of kindness. So some activities that are more wintry, not necessarily Christmas related. And the last thing that I want to mention is that I put 2 different tags that are empty. So if you want to exchange some activities and put some activity that you prefer rather than mine, that's totally fine. And here, what I'm going to use for decorate my envelopes are all things that I have at home earlier. So the only thing that I bought for this project was the Primark Christmas tree bubbles, and they were super cheap, £2 for like 36 of them. So it's really, or 24. I mean, it was super convenient anyway. So I'm just using a lot of stuff that I have from my scrapbooking. I have some tassels, I have some yarns that I have collected during the years, and we are going to need a stamp set with the numbers and an ink pad if you want to use a stamp set, or otherwise you can just write the number. For my aesthetic sense, I'm going to place the numbers all in the bottom right corner on each envelope, but it's just my personal preference. You can place it wherever you like, or just write it big in the middle, whatever. For this one, I'm going to show you like the first 5 or 6 of them, so just for giving you some idea of decorating. And here I'm using some pom-poms that I bought through AliExpress. So I bought like 100 of white one and 100 of the red one for like, I don't know, less than £1 each bag. So it was really cheap. And I think they are super nice. And I'm using this was a yarn, like a decorated yarn that was at Flying Tiger a couple of years ago. Probably they still have it for the Christmas holidays. So just something very simple, and then I'm going to pick one of the cards. Of course, I'm mixing them and just taking one random, so I will have the surprise. And then I'm just closing with the mini peg. So super simple and super easy. You can over decorate it or do something that's really basic and really simple. It's just up to you. I prefer to start with adding just the basics elements, and then I'm going to go back with some white gel pen to add a little bit of extra details and something. So definitely nothing too expensive or that requires specific skills. I'm using a glue gun though. I think it's so much easier to do with a glue gun because things are going to stick and stay firm. So if you want to save it also for the years to come, it will last. But if you have just regular glue, it's totally fine. Just be sure if you want to add something like that it's in wood or felt, that it's pretty strong enough to hold them. And here, for example, these were decoration from a scrapbooking kit that I bought years ago about Christmas stuff. So I have, I don't know, like 100 of those trees, and I've used them for a lot of scrapbooking projects, but still I have a lot of them to use, so that was perfectly fine. And here I'm using just a regular punch to punch out some dots from a piece of white printer paper, and I'm using it for creating a snow effect. So, I mean, this is all about reusing stuff that you have at home and do the best that you can with them. My idea for this project was something that was simple, that you can do with your kids, or, I mean, it's just a way to express your creativity, so you don't need to overdo it, you don't need to think too much about it. I mean, as long as you pick up like a reduced color palette, everything will look nice together, because one is different from each other, and it will look messy, but a very nice way to be messy. And here, for me, I have so many things that were in red and white and green, so I stick to this color palette, and I mean that it's the easiest one, but of course you can do with some very nice alternatives, like with the blues and the silver, or with some white and some like more natural tones, so like craft and copper or bronze. So there are all the dozens of combinations you can find for a Christmas tree. Basically, they are all good fit for this project. So it's really simple and you don't have to stress about it. Just use things that you have around. These, for example, were sets of die cuts that I have found in a shop years ago, and they are still hanging there because I mean I've used a few of them for some Christmas, for my December daily and this kind of stuff. But yeah, they are all over the place. So I mean there are dozens of them, and and probably you're going to find easily also on eBay or AliExpress. And here I'm trying to do something different, and I'm definitely going to overcomplicate things as you're going to see me doing. So here I just use some embellishment that has a hole. So basically like these felt stars, and these small jingle bells, and this wreath that it's like a pendant, a charm. And I thought I could hang it using this yarn, and I have made a knot to keep it in place. But when I started to place it, I realized that I didn't know where to hold the yarn. So I could have put some washi tape, but probably I thought it's going to be like sticky or messy. So I wasn't sure about it, and then I started to think maybe I could do to poke another hole and just like loop it, and then I thought no, it's going to be a mess anyway. And at some point I realized that I was definitely complicating things much more than necessary, so I just use my glue gun and stick to it. I mean, it was super simple, and the yarn it's helpful for having the things that can a little bit move and make a nice sound, but you don't need to overcomplicate things. I mean, the easiest, the better. And for my the last one I'm going to show you, I have both these small Christmas ornaments from Primark. These ones, I bought them because they was in plastic. The only one that I have very, very small that I have are from IKEA, and they were in glass, and they were in pastel color. So here they won't match my color scheme. So these were super cheap, and they are plastic. So even if the things fall off or something, they won't break. So it's always easier. And they were super inexpensive because they were £2 for like 24 of them. So super cheap and super convenient. And here you can use whatever Christmas ornaments that you have left over, like, I don't know, nutcracker or small balls, whatever. I mean, it was just to showing you all the possibilities. And here I haven't cut out the yarn, so I just stick it using the mini pegs. So here there are all of them. After I finished them all, I just used a white gel pen to add some detail. Sometimes are just lines, sometimes are hearts or like stars and some bricks in this one, or some diamonds here, just some lines. My idea was just to complete them and to fill up the space, some dots. I have made some like the outlines, so something very easy and not very complex to do, but that could be really nice and just complete everything. You don't need to have drawing skills for doing this. So here what I'm doing is I'm attaching my yarns to the MDF board, and the first thing, I'm using a hammer because it's pretty sturdy to poke a hole into the MDF. And what I'm doing here is basically to secure first the one side of the yarn, the twine, and then I'm using these Primark lights that has the wire. It's metal, so you can just twist them, and it's really super simple and super useful. I have placed a white sheet of paper as background because I haven't the time to paint the MDF board, otherwise my envelopes will get lost because it's basically the same color. So you're going to see me adding this afterwards. When I tried to put the first one, I realized there was something wrong. So here I've made 4 lines, and now you can see the white paper on behind. I need to paint it, but I haven't decided yet which color. So for now, it's going to go like this. And I'm placing 6 of them for each row, and on the last one there are 7 envelopes. And then you just can turn on your lights, and that's it. So it's super easy and super simple. It could take you like a couple of hours if you want to go crazy mad with the decoration. Otherwise, it's going to be super fast. I hope that you like it. Let me know, and see you soon. Bye.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la.